I think everyone here knows of Identity Fraud, or you've heard of Identity Fraud. It's a game that came out a long time ago, about 2016 era, literally the first day of 2016. And I'm sure you guys know by the title of this video, yeah, this game is getting an insane remaster. I went ahead and interviewed the 3 devs that are going to be working on the remastered version of Identity Fraud, and it's going to be insane. And I got a lot to share with you guys about the upcoming Identity Fraud remastered game. For those who don't know what Identity Fraud is basically a game where you have 3 mazes to get through. And inside of those 3 mazes is actually monsters that you will encounter. And these monsters are very different compared to monsters that you normally see in some other horror games. These monsters are different depending on their behavior, the interactions with players, how one monster actually takes control of a player when they kill them and tries to mimic their presence. It's a lot inside of this game. This video is going to be very informational on how the next Identity Fraud is going to be. So let's get started. So first, let's go ahead and talk about the positions for this new Identity Fraud. We basically have 3 people that are going to be working on this new remastered version, and to be honest, the positions were kind of hard to talk about because this is a solid team. No one really has a specified position on the team. Everyone works together really well. This game is going to be under Create Group. For those who don't know, they're the ones that made Untitled Tag Game, another game you guys should try out for sure. If you guys haven't joined this group yet and you haven't played anything from the group yet, I will leave the group's link in the description down below. Please go ahead and join, as more information will be brought out in the near future. So let's go ahead and talk about the monsters inside of this new Identity Fraud remastered game. We got all of the monsters from the first game coming back to the second game, but we also have some other surprises as well. Every other monster coming to this remastered version is going to be involved in Remix, which is going to be one of the 4 modes coming to Identity Fraud Remastered. There are going to be other monsters that involve mirrors, sanity, and etc. The rest of the monsters that we're going to be talking about really don't have any other information, so you have to learn more about it either in the future or on release, so get ready for that. The 4 modes coming to the game is going to be Classic, which is the old game, but one that actually functions. The remastered version, which is going to have mechanic tweaks, upgraded everything, and it's going to use AI, and this will also be in relations to the classic game. Remix. This is pretty much whatever they decide to actually add with the remastered version. It's the same game, but it's insanely overhauled. This is going to be the love letter to Identity Fraud. Remix is going to have all of the new stuff included in it as well. And then they also have Rounds, which is the last mode. They're not really sure what Rounds is going to be yet, but you are going to have the option to play as the creature, and at least one player will be the enemy. So next, we're going to kind of dive into Remix. Everything else that we're going to be talking about is all going to be involved with Remix pretty much, such as the audio overhaul. So the audio in the old game is actually going to be replaced, and the monster mechanics will be customized in Remix mode. So it's going to be very different compared to the classic and remastered version of Identity Fraud inside of Remix mode. And the animations are going to be different as well for the player, that is, because they will go ahead and add in footstep bobbing, and there'll be camera animation for when you have movement or if you're idle or looking around, like subtle head movements. Hopping into Remix mode, there's going to be an unseen sanity mechanic. So for example, if you're exposed to stuff, it will increase your sanity or drain your sanity. And if you do have a higher sanity, this will make monsters more visible. So if you do have your sanity built up pretty high, Fraud is actually going to be more noticeable to you. His head's going to start twitching, his behavior is going to be different because Fraud will try to become another player. You're going to notice that that player is actually a fraud if you do have a higher sanity. It'll primarily make it so you will see traits. That's what your sanity is going to do. And then the sanity mechanic is going to be used for a lot more coming in the future as well. ChatGPT. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This part is insane. I'm pretty sure everyone is kind of aware of what ChatGPT is nowadays. ChatGPT is an AI, and you can do whatever you want with ChatGPT pretty much. If you want it to write you a rap song, it will write you a rap song. If you want it to help you with your homework, it will help you with your homework. If you want it to code for you, it will code for you. If you want it to make a bomb, it will make a bomb. Okay, I might actually not do that part. But ChatGPT is widely going to be used inside of Identity Fraud Remastered. It's not solely going to be focused on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is more going to be a guide for the game inside of this Remix mode. AI is going to be huge in Identity Fraud, and especially with how the game plays out. Everyone's experience will be different. The monsters in this game are going to learn how a player acts. They're going to take what they can get from you, such as movement or how you talk, like text, or your interaction with other players. As they go ahead and learn more about you, the algorithm of ChatGPT that the monsters are using is going to spit out a replica of you. So like in the old Identity Fraud, when Fraud goes ahead and takes place of another character, the Fraud inside of this game in the Remix mode is going to go ahead and spit out an exact replica of your character. Whether or not not you're lagging in the game. If you are lagging in the game and other players notice that you're kind of like, you know, twitching around the map because you have bad internet, this fraud is going to replicate that. So the fraud's going to act like it's also lagging around the map. If you're one to go ahead and lead the team, this fraud is going to go ahead and lead the team if it happens to get you. If you're one that likes to talk to a lot of people, this fraud's also going to go ahead and talk to a lot of people. The fraud in this game is going to be insane. And unfortunately, which was something I did bring up in the interview, the voice chat feature would have been huge for fraud, but voice chat AI features will be later down the road because Roblox right now, they did not decide to go ahead and open up their voice chat to developers. So in the future, the monster AIs will actually be able to take your voice chat and use that to make an identity as well with ChatGPT. The behaviors in this game is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very different compared to the old one as well. There's going to be no jump scares. This is more focused on the scare factor like paranoia, the unexpected, fear of isolation, close calls, etc. There's going to be a very immersive fraud. That's the main goal. It's an eerie presence. And bringing back fraud as well, there's going to be a lot of client-side features for a player's experience. These client-side features are going to basically be custom profiles because that's going to determine how fraud will actually integrate himself in the game. It's going to be based on the interaction with players to either kill, stalk, or even befriend you. For example, let's say you and your friend are walking down a hallway and you happen to see a fraud. On your end, you will see that fraud. On your friend's end, they will not see that fraud. So what other people are going to see is just you walking off by yourself, even though you thought you were walking with your friend. So client-side features is going to be big inside of this game as well. You really have to pay attention to who you're playing with and how your friend actually plays the game. But that's also going to be difficult because this fraud is going to go ahead and replace them 100% focused on how that player actually plays the game. So ChatGPT, the behavior and client-side features, that is going to make the game extremely immersive, and it's going to make fraud extremely immersive as well. Let's go ahead and break down the AI a little bit because this is going to be different compared to Nico's Nextbots. We got 3 developers here that are working on the game from Nico's Nextbots. The reason this is going to be different from Nico's Nextbots is because Nico's is more dynamic. It has its map change, okay? But Identity Fraud is going to be more of a fixed situation, and this is going to go ahead and lead to more crazier AI experiences as well because it will be different. So instead of path localization, there's actually going to be path movement. It's going to be different based on how these AIs will move around the map. The AI is mainly going to be focused on speech, situations, and general pathfinding. It'll learn most of itself through a player as it creates a fake one. And of course, this is why each experience is going to be different. The decision making of the AI as well is going to be influenced on player interaction, the map, and even other monster interactions. So yes, the decision making of this AI is actually going to be dependent on the other monsters using the AI as well. It seems scary talking about it right now, and I'm sure it'll be even more scary as we play the game. So now that we pretty much got all of the monsters and the AI out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the maps and the levels really quick. So Classic, Remastered, and the Remix version are all going to have their own maps and levels. There's nothing yet on expansion to mazes or levels, but it has been talked about. And what was talked about was certain levels expanded based on your progression in the game. So for example, if you complete a certain maze, this will open up another area in the maze you just completed. So the replayability is going to be huge inside of these versions. And with the replayability factor, in the interview, they did talk about moving away from that repetitive point that Identity Fraud really brought a lot. And what's going to help with this is actually improving Fraud himself, which we just talked about. That's really going to help with the replayability factor inside of Identity Fraud Remastered. And then as well, having those level expansions, this will help. And this will possibly unlock other stuff after completion as well. Level expansions, of course, wasn't something that was, you know, confirmed yet, but it is something that was talked about. Customization. There is some customization that will be coming to Identity Fraud Remastered, like cosmetics for monsters, basically changing how the enemy will look. Whether or not this will be client-sided, I'm not for sure yet. The equipment for characters, those are going to have skins and such, because on your character, there will be different types of equipment, which none has been talked about yet. And then also, for customization, we got private server settings. Inside of private servers, you'll have the ability to access an admin panel. In that admin panel, you can actually spawn in more monsters if you would like. Nextbots is also going to be an option in the admin panel as well, so expect a lot coming to the admin panel. And that's pretty much everything I have to talk about for Identity Fraud Remastered as of right now. You guys are looking for a release date, and all I can say is that it'll be at the end of this year. Maybe. But as of right now, just for a start on Identity Fraud Remastered, it is a lot, and hopefully you guys are informed about the game, and hopefully you guys are excited for this game to be released. If there is more information on this game, if there's any more updates or stuff on the game release, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you guys want some more information on that, because there will be more coming to the game that I will be making videos on. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for me. My name's GMT, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.
If something is like of interest, you can use our voices like in that clip. Thank you guys for watching. This was a JMT video. Identity Fraud Remastered will be coming soon in GameStop near you.